Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. It is time for our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 392. That's it, 392. This is a do's and don'ts class. So most of you are going to want to bookmark this class or write this class number down or save it somewhere. I do my do's and don'ts classes when I feel that there is enough product on the market that is the same but slightly different and needs to be explained why they're different and how to use them, because they all look the same, but they're not. And that is what this class is about. I so want to sing a song right now, but I am not allowed to for copyright infringement. But I do believe that if one of these things isn't like the other, I think y'all know where I'm going. At any rate, I have got a wonderful class for you today. At least I'm hoping it's a wonderful class for you. We are going to be exploring embossing folders. Some of you are saying, oh, Stacy, I know everything there is to know about embossing folders. I have a whole shoebox full of them. Well, possibly, but there's always that chance that because now there are so many different types of embossing folders by different companies, and they may all say that they're the same, but they are not, and they have to be treated differently. We're going to talk about that and go through the different types of embossing folders that have come on the market now that technology has expanded and exploded, and there's so many more opportunities for embossing folders. We are going to be playing with inks. We're going to be playing with metallics. We're going to be playing with new Sizzix effects, luster waxes. We're going to be playing with the last 3 collections of my Simply Defined satin papers. I have the last 3 collections that I'm releasing. And I have something for every level of crafter, not just skill-wise in this YouTube, but budget-wise. When the manufacturers found out I was doing a do's and don'ts class, I don't tell them what I'm doing ahead of time. They have no idea what I plan to do with their product. They see it when you see it. But when I'm placing orders for larger quantities of things, they kind of are like, okay, she's doing something, but what is she doing? So several manufacturers found out I was doing a do's and don'ts of embossing folders, and all of a sudden it was like my email and my phone were off the hook. Ooh, pick us. Ooh, we'd like to be. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It was like, oh, okay, everybody jump in the pool. That's all good. Everybody come on in. The water's really nice, because this YouTube class started as just a very contained and confined class, and it has now exploded in the best way possible because I have so many more things that I get to show you because everybody jumped in the pool. I'm really excited to do this. So if you have never seen what embossing folders can do, stay tuned. You're going to love it. If you've seen what basic embossing folders can do, stay tuned. I think you're going to love it. If you know about 3D embossing folders but don't know much about cut and emboss, stay tuned. I think you're going to love it. And if you are familiar with all of these things, stay tuned. Wait till you see the product I have for you. We have embossing folders starting at $1.99. Wahoo Kachoo. And we kept the inks on sale from last week from Spellbinders and Fun Stampers Journey, which are at a phenomenal price. Wahoo Kachoo. And I was able to convince Sizzix, Sarah, and Victorious Victor over at Sizzix to pretty much give me all of the luster wax that they have coming in. And then at a wahoo kachoo price. So we're gonna get started for the day. I'm gonna do winner really quick. I don't have an update as to the warehouse sale. I didn't get the number before I started. I'm so sorry. I will be sure to do it next week. Okay, so let's do winner, winner, chicken dinner really quick, and then let's move on, because I actually have a list. There's a list right there. You can't see it. So I can stay on track of what I'm supposed to do, because this is such an important class for crafters. I think that this is an important class. Just like my do's and don'ts of the Big Shot machines or the Sizzix machines. These are things, these are classes that you refer back to time and time again, and make your buying decisions, not even if you forget about shopping with us, but just in general, what it is you think you're going to like to play with. So you see it first, and then you can decide. And you may say, oh no, none of this is for me, or oh, that's totally for me. But it's best that you know ahead of time what you're getting into before you spend your dollars, because my gosh, everybody's got a budget, and that budget is precious. So, all right, let's talk about winner, winner, chicken dinner. Our first two winner winners from $3.91, which was the layering stencils. Thank you very much. You liked my Simply Defined Kaleidoscope layering stencils. Remember, Simply Defined, anything you see Simply Defined is my product, and I've designed it. Our first winner is Donna Huntington. Hello, Donna Huntington. Thank you very much for having an easy peasy name. So appreciated. You have won a $25 gift card to Scrapbooking Made Simple, and with any luck, it is already in your online account. Have fun spending it. Our next winner, because we always announce two, is Deborah. Oh. Well, I got the Deborah part right. And she has a name where there's two vowels right next door to each other. And to me, that means when you have two vowels right next door to each other, when two vowels go a walkin', the first one does a talkin'. So I'm going to assume that she pronounces it Sipely, because the I and the E. So the I would be a hard I. When two vowels go a walkin', the first one does the talkin'. Sipely. I'm going with Deborah Sipely. If I'm wrong, well, I tried. And God loves a trier. So there you go, Deborah. Is that you? Because if it is, you are a winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, how do you get to be a winner, winner, chicken dinner here at Scrapbooking Made Simple and receive a $25 gift card? First, you have to subscribe. There's a heart over here. Put your cursor over it. A subscribe bar will come up. Please click it. We're doing our very, very best to get to 100,000 subscribers. I do have one video with over 1 million views on it, but I'm still trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. So subscribe right there, and then post your comment on this video. Then you go into the running for a winner, winner, chicken dinner once your comment is approved. And with any luck, I'll be doing the winner, winner, chicken dance for you. So for Deborah and Donna, you're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo for you. All right, girls, you got to do nothing to claim your prize. It should already be in your online account. Have fun spending it. And don't forget, like the video and subscribe to the video. Much appreciated. Okay, I'm going to tilt down. We're going to get started for today. We've got a lot to do, a lot to go over, a lot for you to see, and a lot for you to learn. Get ready. It's a doozy. So on your marks, get set, go. Down we go. Bye. All right, let me tilt. Well, I don't want to tilt on in too much because I'm going to start with one of the machines, but I do want to show you some of the samples. Ooh, isn't that beautiful? That is a 3D embossing folder. Gorgeous, right? So there's one of the samples. These are hard to find, the religious embossing folders, and I bought every last one of them that I could. What do you think? And look at the purple and the gold. Isn't that beautiful? We're going to show you how to do that. And then, how pretty is this? Look at how beautiful that is. And you can easily do this. And we're going to go over how. Now, before we start with embossing folders, I want to talk about my Sizzix Big Shot machine, and I'm going to pull it right on over. This is my Sizzix Big Shot machine. It is the standard width. It's 6 inches across. I do have all of the Sizzix Big Shot machines. I will not lie. I've got a Plus and a Pro and a fold away. I do, but I also have a Platinum 6 and a Platinum 8 over there. Absolutely. So our Sizzix Big Shot machine is a workhorse, and gosh, it just goes and it goes and it goes without question. This is the crank. I do have an Express somewhere. The Express is the one you push the button and it goes on through. The switch has not yet relaunched yet, so I'm not even gonna go there. I don't know when it's coming out, maybe September, maybe not, I don't know. But this is your basic crank machine. Now, originally this machine was sold with a multi-purpose platform like this. And each of the tabs meant something because you have dies and embossing folders that are of different thicknesses. And so the machine came with this platform. Actually, originally it came with the longer platform, and then it went back to the shorter platform. But at some point, they came with a multi-purpose platform. Whether you have the long one, the extended, or the short one, it makes no difference. They're hinged on the sides. But they eventually changed, and the new machines now come with a base plate and a shim. This now takes the place of this. And for almost everything, this will do you just fine. It also comes with 2 clear plates, and we'll play with clear plates in a little bit. But for almost everything, this will do you fine. And they give you directions on how to use the base plate versus the solo shim. Each thing will do something different. When you have this all by itself, that's mainly for embossing folders. When you have this together, that's mainly for wafer or chemically etched dies. And again, this will do almost everything out on the market, but not everything. And so, and I don't know why, well, I don't know why they didn't just do the 3 shims, but you know what, they didn't. They do this now. So I always keep my multi-purpose platform, and mine's broken and cracked, and I mean, it happens. The hinges are plastic, it cracks, it does. I've even taped mine together to keep mine when I couldn't. They stopped making them for a while, but there's definitely a purpose for the multi-purpose platform, without any question, because the what you get now is a base plate and just 1 shim. Here you get the base plate and 2 shims, and you would be so surprised that the difference of 1 shim can make the difference of whether your die cuts or your embossing folder goes through. It really can. So I was on the phone with Ellison with Sizzix Sarah about an hour ago, and I said, okay, I'm doing this YouTube today, and I want to be able to offer the machine, but I want to be able to offer the machine. Not only, it's going to come with this. It's already boxed. There's nothing I can do about that. It's already boxed. But I also wanted it to come with this. I said, what can we do? Let's talk. But not too long, because I'm getting ready to YouTube. Never give them too much time. So we discussed it, and we agreed that we would be able, now the Big Shot machine sells for $119.99 every day. That's just its normal price. It's everyday price. And Sizzix multi-purpose platform, you can buy them. You can buy them. They're $24.99, I think, $29.99, something like that. We're gonna do the bundle where you get both platforms. You get the machine, you get the platform that it comes with, and we're gonna throw this one in on top of it, and we're gonna do it for $109.99. Out the door, well, not out the door, you gotta pay shipping. So the machines drop ship from Sizzix for us. We don't ship them directly. They're gonna drop ship it for us, so there is a shipping charge for any machine that we sell because of that drop ship and because they're heavy and bulky. But my gosh, you're gonna get the $119.99 machine, you're gonna get the multi-purpose platform, which is what I'm gonna be using all day today is the multi-purpose platform. Now, if you already have the machine and you don't need it, yes, we're going to put the multi-purpose platforms on sale as well. We'll put these in the YouTube Yummy and have them on sale for you. So if you just need this, but there is a definite reason to have that, and especially when you are using embossing folders. So I wanted to get that out of the way, and so we can start. Now, with the multi-purpose platform, what I need you to remember, and it's so very, very important, is that you only have 3 options. Only 3. You can use the multi-purpose platform with all the tabs closed. That's option 1. Option 2 is that you open it to tab 1 and you don't use this tab at all. That's option 2. Option 3 is that you don't use any of the tabs and you just use the base plate. You just have to remember you only have 3 options. If it doesn't work on with it completely closed, maybe you have to open it up to tab 1. And if it still doesn't work with tab 1, maybe you have to open it up all the way to the base platform. Or if you start here and it goes through and nothing happens, it just slides through and it doesn't have any pressure and it doesn't cut anything, maybe you need to back off and bring a tab down. And if it still doesn't work, maybe you need to back off and close it all the way up. You only have 3 options, so don't be afraid. You can do this. It doesn't get confusing if you just keep it to 1, 2, 3. Those are your options, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to start with embossing folders, and I've got basic embossing folders, which I have to tell you are getting very, very hard to come by. Manufacturers are no longer doing just basic embossing folders. They now want everything to be 3D or cut and emboss. So finding just a basic embossing folder has become a pretty big challenge, and I had a hard time finding them. So where did I go? I went outside the United States to find these, and I went overseas to Holland and Denmark, and I found embossing folders that are beautiful, but just basic embossing folders. Now I can tilt in. We used to have lots from Doris, but Doris is now out of business. Michael's purchased them, and I think they do something with some kind of a school brand. So are we good there? I think we're good there. Okay, so embossing folders are nothing more than a molded plastic. In fact, that might be a little too close. It's just a molded plastic. That's all it is. And you've got a raised edge and you've got a debossed edge. So something that's going to emboss and deboss. You buy them once and you use them again and again and again. It is a tool. It's not something that you throw away. It's something that you collect and you put in your stash, and they're very inexpensive. So all of the regular embossing folders that we have for this YouTube are on sale for $1.99. And some of them are just absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to play with these to start with, because if you've never seen basic embossing, this is a good place for you to start and see it. So I think I'm going to start with this one, and I'm just going to grab a piece of plain cardstock. That's all this is plain cardstock. And I'm going to trim my paper on down. I've put my paper in between the embossing folder. And what's going to happen is when I run it through my machine, the pressure from the wheel or the roller is going to compress the paper. It's going to push the paper up where there's ridges, and it's going to compress it into the area that is debossed. So if I put my paper in like this and I send it through, it's going to add this detail all the way around. It is the quickest and easiest way to add depth and dimension and texture to any of your projects. So let's bring my machine on over. And remember, we only have 3 options. Tab 2, completely closed, generally means you're going to do a wafer style die. Tab 1, you open it, And you can see they tell you about embossing folders right there. They give you the tools to make everything work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my multi-purpose platform down. I'm going to grab 2 plates. Yours will be clear when you get yours. I'm using colored plates just because I had them here. And because we're doing embossing folders, these don't cut into anything. So you can use 2 do not cut plates. It really doesn't matter because you're just trying to sandwich it so that the depth, so your height right here is tall enough to hit the wheel in your machine, causing it to push down and force that paper to emboss. Simple. Let's roll it on through. Easy peasy. Do I have to roll back and forth? No. You can if you want. And just like that, I've got a piece of paper that has embossing all the way around it. Now, this is awesome for pictures. It's got a flat center. There's nothing you can stamp in here. You can put sentiments in here. You can put stickers. You can put 3-dimensional flowers. You can put a photograph in here and use these for your scrapbooks. Absolutely. This is a typical embossing folder, and that is what it does. But we want to do a little bit more with it than just our typical look. So we want to take a piece of paper that perhaps is patterned. Now, this is single-sided paper, and this is brand new from Hobby Gross. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. So let's see. What color do I want? Ooh. Beautiful paper. We've got 4 new packs from them, from Hobby Gross, which is a company, they are in Denmark. So we bring their paper in from Denmark, and it's gorgeous. And let's see, let's change it up a little bit. Let's do this one. So this has kind of got a window in the center and then a branch coming off of it. So we've got that one and we've got a circle one. Oh, maybe we'll do them both. We'll see. Let me move this one over here. And let me run this one through. So nothing has changed. All I did was change my paper. Nothing has changed. I'm going to put it through my multi-purpose platform exactly the same as I did. Tab 2 is going to be open. Tab 1 is what we start with. I've got a cut plate down, whether it be a do not cut plate or a something that you've cut into. It makes no difference. You're going to get 2 clear cut plates with your machine. They will not stay this nice and clean. No, they're going to get cuts in them, and that's perfectly fine when you use them with a die. But embossing folder, you just lay it down, put another do not cut plate or another cut plate on the top, and let's send it on through. And it rolls through like butter. It almost feels like you're not doing anything at all. But trust me, when it comes out, that embossing is there. Can you see it? This is a white core paper. So if I was using a double-sided paper, let's say this paper, let's say this paper looked like this and it was double-sided. Any double-sided paper is printed on a white core. This is single-sided paper, and you can clearly see it's printed on a white core. What does that mean to you? That means that when we sand it, Sand It gadget. They no longer make these, but go get something from your nail salon. I would be careful with sandpaper from a hardware store because you want to make sure that grit is not too rough, but you don't want it too soft. It needs to go through the paper, but not tear the paper. So when you add a little bit of sandpaper, all of a sudden, where that embossing is starts to come up because I'm sanding away the top, the red part of my paper, so that the embossing comes through. Easy. You don't just have to use basic cardstock or white paper. If you've got double-sided paper, so think about all the double-sided paper you probably already own. Now you can't sand forever. It is just paper. At some point you will have sanded all the way through the paper and to your craft mat. Okay, so let's trim this down. Wow, that's pretty. I'm not even going to trim the bottom. I'm going to leave it long. Now, put your picture in there for your scrapbook and your journaling down here for what you did. I could cut this to any length I want and make it a square card because that's what size the embossing folder is. It's square, but I don't want a square card. Just have your paper roll off the edge. If it doesn't have a finished edge down at the bottom, I could make this as big as I want. I could, but how beautiful is that? So because we have this one already done, I pulled it out. What if we put the original folder in that we were working with? This one, where the embossing is just there for you to see. Very, very subtle, but it does add depth and dimension. It does add texture. So let's bring this on over and let's roll it on through. And done. And let's sand. I want you to be able to see the difference the same embossing folder can have on different paper. Can I see it? There you are. I knew you were there somewhere, little flower. Okay, let's trim it on down. And I think that's good enough. That'll show you. So we have it just on cardstock. Kind of hard to see the embossing, but when it's on a card, it definitely is there, and you can see the texture of it. Or now, when I've sanded it. What a difference, right? Huge difference. Enormous difference from this to this, but all I changed was the paper. That's all I changed. Okay, let's move on. Now let's ink an embossing folder. So what do you mean ink an embossing folder? Well, I have an embossing folder right here. I'm not using anything but a basic embossing folder. This one's $1.99. So if you've never tried them and you want to try them, that's a good price to get them at. They usually retail for somewhere between usually $4.99 and $5.99 is a typical price of an embossing folder. But this time I want to ink it because I want that depth and dimension to have color to it. I always start with my lightest color ink, always. And I'm just going to take my ink pad, and this is a water-based ink, so it's not going to harm my folder at all. Even if you were using an alcohol-based ink, which we will later, it still doesn't harm the folder at all. This is just hardy plastic. And I'm just going to rub it all over. This is the Fun Stampers Journey Spellbinders ink. Normally I use a Memento Dewdrop ink because of the price point. They're $2.29, but I'll tell you, these are at a hugely reduced price. Almost the same price as a Memento, and you're getting a full-size pad. So I opted to go with these. And then maybe we add a little bit of, how about some Rusty Rose? And with the Rusty Rose, I'm not gonna go all over. I'm just kind of gonna hit my pad here and there, or hit my embossing folder. Just kind of here and there. And that's why I start with my lightest color. The Rusty Rose Rustic Rose is darker than my Banana Cream. If I put my Banana Cream now on top of my Rustic Rose, it's gonna be hard to see it because it's going to absorb into this color. And then last but not least, let's try some chambray shirt. Okay, well, who knows? We could love it, we could hate it. Beautiful thing is, it's only paper. It's only paper. Grab a piece of white cardstock, put it in there. Now some people will take 2 pieces of white cardstock and do 2 at the same time. Because I don't know what they're gonna look like, I'm good with just taking 1 and giving it a whirl. Haven't changed anything. Same type of embossing folder, same type of sandwich, and I'm gonna send it on through. And back. And let's see what we've got. So now I've inked with my embossing folder. Do you like this side? Or do you like that side? You have options. You can do either. Because we inked both sides of our embossing folder, we can decide which side we want to do. And if you wanted to, you could put 2 pieces of white paper in there at the same time so that you would have 2 backgrounds ready to go. But it's up to you. Do you like this side better? Or do you like that side better? And it can change dramatically based off of the ink that you use. Let's go and use, I'm gonna keep that there, so let's use Summer Days, which is a yellow. It's not orange, it kind of looks orange there, but it's a yellow. You saw I just took a baby wipe. Ooh, yeah, look at that, yellow. Hello, yellow. And then we'll kind of wipe down this side. And then let's go in with maybe some, I don't know, it's only paper, Stacy. Let's hit some of it with some green. And then let's finish it with a little bit of red. Ooh, too much red. but we're gonna go for it. Put my white paper in, close it up, and let's send it on through. Do we like this? Or do we like this? Pretty cool, right? Same embossing folder. Totally different looks depending on what colors you use. And you have options. All I did was use ink. Okay, does it have to be this ink? No, of course it doesn't. If you have Tim Holtz inks or Mementos or Lawn Fawns or Stampin' Ups, whose ever ink makes your heart happy. Can the ink stain the embossing folder? The yellow stained my embossing folder a little bit. Am I gonna cry over this? Absolutely not. Is it going to affect how my embossing folder works? Absolutely not. I'm just gonna wipe it down and we are good, and it's good to use again. Do you have to do more than one color? No, you could, I mean, well, do you have to do more than 3 colors? No, you could do just a single color if you wanted. I just love the variance that you get when you do mix your colors. I think this is stunning. This makes my heart happy, and I even like that I didn't ink too much over here. I like that. I'd put a piece of ribbon right down there, and I think that would look pretty cool. But you may like the backside better. So now we have, with just a basic embossing folder, we have embossed, we have embossed and sanded, and now we have embossed and inked. All right, now we're gonna move on to some black paper. And gosh, which one do I wanna use? Maybe I'll use this one. Let's grab a sheet of black paper. And I'm just gonna send this right on through. Same type of embossing folder, nothing different about it. The sandwich is gonna remain exactly the same. So I've got tab 2 open and I'm working on tab 1. I'm gonna send it on through. And bring it on back. And there it is. This time I'm going to use a wax by Sizzix. This is Sizzix Effects. It's called Luster Wax, and it is a waxy based product. It's not a water based product, and it doesn't dry out because it's not a water based product. It is definitely wax. A little goes a long way on this, and we have 3 new colors. They have 4, but one of them hasn't come in quite yet. We're still waiting on it, but we do have the gold, the silver, and the rose gold. And again, smells kind of waxy. It goes on beautifully. A little goes a long way. What I found with these is that the Aladdin tool, or perhaps your Tim Holtz tool, I don't know which one you have. We sell the Aladdin tool. Amazingly fits inside here like butter. I mean, it's perfect. It's the perfect circle for the perfect circle. I couldn't believe how well this fit. And then I just get a little bit on my sponge. Now, I'm gonna come in, oh, probably too much on my sponge. Oh yeah, a little too much on my, see, little goes a long way with this stuff. So I've got a little bit too much on my sponge because I'm getting it everywhere. Well, okay, so I'm not crazy about that because I got it everywhere. But you know what? Because I got it everywhere, I'm just gonna go for it. So it's not a paste, it's a wax. And it dries almost instantaneously. It's kind of got, they put like an orangey smell to it, which is kind of nice. But you can see, can you see that? I mean, I have a little on here, and I put too much on my blending brush. So I'm just gonna go for it. So I took my black paper to a beautiful silver. And then I think, because it dries, look at, hello. I'm gonna go ahead and just sand a little bit. And pull some of that wax off. And just sand a little bit. It really is whatever you want to make of it. But it's got this fabulous metallic to it. Amazing metallic to it. What if we took it and we used it with, okay, so see how it dries? Let me try. Nope, I'm gonna have to get my little scrubby and scrub it right off. So, because it dries almost instantaneous. So on non-porous surfaces. So you're gonna have to get your little scrubby or a little Mr. Clean eraser, and it'll come off with that. But let's try. Should we try this one? Let's try this one. Let's do this one in black. And let's see what we get. Now again, I'm still on basic embossing folders. Did you know you could use basic embossing folders so many different ways? I think we should make something Halloween-y with that one. Okay, I've got my design, and let's trade it up. Let's go to gold. So I'm going to take off my little silver foamy, put it on top. See, I just put it on top of my silver so I know. And let's try some gold. Get my gold foamy. And let's see what happens. So I've got less on my foam. And it's going around beautifully. Is it going to be absolutely perfect? No, but it's handmade and it's not supposed to be. You get a little extra wax here and there. Can you put this directly onto your embossing folders? Well, you can, but it's going to stick to that embossing folder and it's going to stain it. You're going to have to work to get it off. So the wax is very quick to dry. It's pretty. how beautiful that is. It's absolutely gorgeous, and this is going to last you a really, really, really long time. So now we've played with wax on black paper. Can you use it on white paper, the wax? Absolutely you can, without question. That's gonna, well, I'll get it off later. I just am gonna have to tell myself that time and time again. But let's move on. How about chipboard? Can we do chipboard? Sure we can. This is super thick chipboard. What do I want to do in the chipboard? Maybe the circle. We haven't done the circle. Have we done the circle? Oh, we did the circle. The square? How about the square? Let's play with the square. So, chipboard, super thick. I mean, this is like heavy, heavy chipboard. Do you have to use this heavy of a chipboard? No, of course not. You could absolutely use something from your cereal boxes, without question. Any kind of box. I just happened to grab super heavy chipboard. I wanted you to see how thick you can use. If you want to use thinner, then you know you can. Okay. Now, I have been rolling it through exactly the same way every time. I've been using my multi-purpose platform. I've been opening it up to tab 1 and rolling it through on tab 1. But this chipboard is very, very, very thick. If I open it to tab 1 and I do just what I've been doing every other time, will it go through my machine? Being that the chipboard is like having, I don't know, 20 pieces of copy paper in there. Okay, my machine is saying no. If it's not gonna go, you have to respect the machine no matter whose machine you're using. Do not force it. But remember, you only have 3 choices. So, obviously, if it's completely closed, that's as thick as it can get. You don't want to do that. What if I open it up to the base tab? Will it go then? There we go. Thick, thick, thick. But because the thickness of the material I am using has changed, my platform needs to change as well. My sandwich needs to change. There it is. Now, what if we took the pretty rose gold and sent it on through? Gosh, I don't know. Well, I already cut it. Shouldn't have done that. Because what if I want to leave it long? Let's grab my rose gold. Rose gold. Kind of like a copper. And what if I just gently hit it with the wax? The colors are so pretty and it dries so fast. A little goes a long way. Look at how pretty is that. And then I could cut it to any length that I want. Now, You may want to use a guillotine if you're using this thick a chipboard. But I wanted to show you how thick you can use. And I'm not using a 3-dimensional, I'm just using a basic embossing folder. Just a basic embossing folder. Right? Beautiful. Easy peasy. But I got samples like you can't believe over there. What if we take a satin embossing folder? How about we take a green? So I've got 3 new sets of satin metallic cardstock out, and this is the growing hues. So it's yellows and blue, like a blue and a green. And what if we took the, do I want to use, I also have loving hues, which is your reds and your pinks. What if we use the really red? Let's try the really red. And let's use it with this one. So it's metallic cardstock. There's, oh gosh, 5 colors, 10 sheets. I always forget. Yes, 5 colors, 10 sheets in each set. And that will complete the sets for me of my metallic cardstock. And it is so value priced. Okay, so I'm gonna go this way. And we're gonna run it on through. Now I'm back to using basic paper. So do I have to be on the bottom tab? No, I can go right back to tab number 2 because I'm right back to using simple paper. If I was using something thick, that's when you adjust. You only have 3 choices. If it doesn't work on one, try the next one. If it doesn't work on that one, try the next one. Sometimes you might even have to remove one of your cutting plates to make it work. But there's always an option. There's always a way to get it done. Let's send this on through. Easy peasy. And send it on back. And let's see what I've got. Ooh, ah. But what if I took that gold wax and right over the top? Piece of scratch paper. And the wax dries instantaneously. There's not a water content in it. Look at the difference. Isn't that pretty? The wax is amazing. And folks, it's dry. The wax is meant to go on everything from paper to wood to chipboard to plastic to glass. Acetate, absolutely. And it's dry. That looks good. And you're good to go. So you took it from just a basic red to something that's got a little more pizzazz to it. A little more pizzazz. So let's grab really quickly. Let's grab one of the blues. And let's try this one in a blue. I love my satin paper. Let's put it in. Again, I'm not using anything that's extra thick, so I don't need to change my platform. And let's roll it on through. And send it on through. And send it on back just because I got to pull it out anyway. Off to the side. Look at that embossing. That is a dramatic difference than just on plain paper. Little harder to see. Boy, that looks good, doesn't it? Okay, let's go ahead and let's play with that silver again. Change my little pad. Bring over my silver. And let's add some silver. And now you've got the silver around it, and it's dry. Really pretty. All done with just a basic embossing folder. You got this. You can do this. It is that simple. But then embossing folders started to change. And they became more three-dimensional. And manufacturers liked that three-dimensional depth. Oh gosh, where do I want to start with these? So 3D embossing folders came on the market a while ago. Sizzix makes them, Spellbinders did make them, Nellie's Choice makes them, Memory Box makes them, and they really are absolutely beautiful. I mean, they're beautiful. So let's start with just taking one, and again, I'm just going to do a plain piece of paper. Plain piece of cardstock. And let's open up a 3D embossing folder. And I think I might do side-to-side comparisons. So how about the fan? So this is a Nellie's Choice embossing folder, and you can see it's definitely thicker. Look at this, will bend. This is definitely thicker than a standard embossing folder. It has to be. To get that 3D, they have to build into the mold a much deeper impression, and you can feel it. However, this is a Sizzix embossing folder, a 3D embossing folder. And it's even more. I mean, they went a little extra. So this is their embossing folder. Can you see how thick that is? It is even thicker than this one. Big, there's a huge difference between them. And because there's a difference between them, they're going to have to go through your machine differently. Also, remember that this is molded plastic. So when it pops out of the injection, out of the mold, the edges can be very, very sharp. And that's true with any embossing folder, whether it be just a basic one or a 3D or a cut and emboss. This is plastic, so when it pops out of that mold, it's super sharp. It doesn't cut you, but with paper, it could cut some of the paper. The best way to take care of that is do what I did earlier. Just grab some chipboard and run your embossing folder through the chipboard a couple of times. It can be thinner chipboard, absolutely. You also can mist your paper. And what that does is that helps loosen the fibers so it doesn't tear as easy. Embossing folders are kind of like a really good pot that you have for cooking, that you've been seasoning over the years. And it's just, you know, when you first got it, it was okay. But after you had that pot for a year or two and all of that seasoning happened during that time, the pot just became better. That's what an embossing folder is like. They start out great, but the more you use them, the more they're seasoned and the better they get. You don't think of things as getting better as they get older, except for, well, you and me. We all get better as we get older as far as I'm concerned, but embossing folders absolutely do. So I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison. So let me get this out. And this one. And let me put it in. So if you want to know which way the embossing folder goes up and down, normally your upside, the side you want to see on your card, is the side that doesn't have the little pieces popping out. They have the indent. You want the indent. And if you need to, you can just write front on the front of it. A lot of companies will index it. They'll put their name Sizzix or Spellbinders or Couture Creations or Memory Box on the front of it so you know which is up. But this is the side that's going to push into this negative space, making that embossing. So let's just try here. Now this is a little bit thicker than a standard embossing folder. So my sandwich is going to have to be different. If I try to do it with all tabs closed, it isn't going to go. If I try to do it here, one tab open, it isn't going to go. If I open all tabs and I use just my base, it isn't going to go. But Stacy, you said there's only 3 choices. Yes, there is. Now you need to back off of one of your plates. Because this doesn't cut, you can put it straight onto your multi-purpose platform and not have a problem, and just use one plate. Now is this, okay, see, this is gonna go through. See, this is no good. One plate, no good all the way at the bottom. Nope. Slides right through, is not gonna give me enough pressure to do anything. So let's back one off, or put one back on, and bring over my embossing folder and one plate. Most often, and it's still a little too easy peasy. Most often, 3D embossing folders are only going to use a single plate. Let's put my last tab back on and let's send it on through. Oh, that feels better. Let's see what we get. Can you see how deep that is? That's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. And we used one plate with our platform completely closed. Now let's grab that Sizzix, which is so much thicker. Let me put this one right there. So much thicker. I mean, this is like, wow. And let's put our paper in. And let's try and run it through like we did my last one from Nellie, the translucent one. Right on top, one plate. Yeah, no can do. Nope, it's too thick. So what do we have to do? We have to back off one. Let's take tab 2 off and try tab 1. Put it down. And let's see if we can get it through. And there we go. Don't be afraid to try. If it doesn't roll through, you're too thick. Take something away. And if it rolls through too easy, you don't have enough height. You're too thin. Add something. Both are 3D embossing folders. Both are manufactured slightly different so that if you have both, they can't roll through exactly the same. This one is so much thicker. It really is. Doesn't mean that they both won't go through. Now, if I was working on my original, but the platform that came with it, the platform and the one shim, this is very difficult to get through. They need that extra. They need the extra shims for some of these embossing folders because they are different. Remember, this is a Sizzix machine. They engineered this machine to use with their product, not with somebody else's. Not that you can't. They absolutely encourage that, but they engineer everything for their product, and then you have to adapt for other people. So this one ran through just beautifully using the top and one cut plate, where this one you needed to open up. Now, let's try it with, let's see, pattern paper sanded. Okay, let's do pattern paper sanded. And let's grab, that's pretty, right? Pattern paper sanded. Let's try this one. Remember, thicker. I need to open it up. Down, one plate. And let's send it on through. Do I have to go backwards? I don't, but since I have to take it out anyway, okay, that's pretty amazing. And you can see that it's kind of cut into it a little bit. So if I wanted this to not cut, I would have taken a little bit of water and misted my paper, or over time, my embossing folder, the edges, those edges that pop right out are gonna wear down a little bit, and you're not going to have that. But I wanna sand it anyway, so I'm all good with that. Let's bring over our sandpaper. And how pretty is this? And it's thick, and it's, I mean, you feel the texture to it. Beautiful. Let's do this one that is not as thick as the Ellison Sizzix. Let's grab another piece of paper. And how about we use How about we use the really dark? Ooh. Let's see what we get. And I think I'll put it there. I'm not even going to bother to trim it off. Let's bring back my machine, and let's remember, it's not as thick. So let's try here and see what happens. I can feel it going through. And let's bring it back. Oh, and I debossed. Well, the back side looks fabulous. I debossed the front side. Let's sand it and just see, which means I put it in backwards. Yeah, see, I'm not gonna get any, the other side looks amazing, but yep, I did it backwards, which means I put the paper on the side that has the bumps and not the side that has the recessed. So let's do it again. And let's say your machine might be a little loose, which means you've had your machine for a really long time. Let's not do it again the same way, Stacy. You've had your machine for a really long time and it has loosened up over the years. It may be that you have to open it up to tab 1 and see if you can, if that makes it go through with one. You're just going to have to try. Every machine is going to be a little different. But knowing that you only have 3 options should help minimize the, I'm going to cut it down so I can put it in the center. Should help minimize the well, I can't get it to go through. 3 options, and then 1 or 2 cutting plates. So the Nelly folders are not indexed. Oh yeah, so much better. The Sizzix folders, you know that it's the front because it says Sizzix. The Nelly folders, you might have to write front. No big deal. Okay, so much better. Can you see how beautiful that is? And then let's give a little sanding. All the dimension is going to start to come up. All the beautiful little intricate details of the embossing folder start to expose themselves. Ooh. And I could continue to sand a little bit more and get in there and get the veins of the leaves out and get all of that intricacy just with sandpaper. But it's beautiful. Now, what if we use ink? Let's see, what else do we have over here? So those 2 are sanded. Let's see, what if we use ink? How about this one with some ink? So here's another Nelly folder. 3-dimensional. And what if I treated it the same way I did my other folders? Oh, and see here? Yay, they put a sticker on this one. That's so nice, then you know which way's up. Okay, so what if I do banana? Probably a little too hard on that. And then how about some citrus cooler? And then maybe some cranberry bliss. A lot of red, but it is what it is. It's only paper. Let's grab our white paper. And let's send it on through. So can you ink 3D embossing folders? Sure, why not? Bring it on over. Remember, this is a Nelly, so we don't have to open it all the way. We keep our platform completely closed in just one cut plate. And let's send it on through. And again, you might like one side better than the other, but if you don't ink up both sides, you never know. Okay, do we like this side? Or do we like this side? You have options. Isn't it nice to take just a basic piece of white paper and make it look fabulous? It's got the depth and all that texture, but now we've brought the embossing out. So this is a debossed side. The divots are going down, and this is the embossed side. Right? Woohoo ka-choo. All right, let's try it with some black paper maybe. And why don't we use the fan? And let's bring over some black paper. Sizzix folder. It's going to require a different sandwich. I try to put it through here like I did my Nelly, and it's a no-go. So I have to back off a little bit and take a tab up. Put it down again. And then instant presto, sails right through. A multi-purpose platform, the original multi-purpose platforms are handy to have because they give you a little more option when trying to build a sandwich. And that's what they call the different layering, the different configurations of open, closed, one cut plate, no cut, well, you always have to use a cut plate, but one cut plate, two cut plates. Ooh. Oh, right? Okay, so which ink do we want to use? Oh, decisions. Well, I have silver here, so I guess I'll use, I don't know. How about we try the rose gold? Ooh, pretty. And it's dry. Ooh, pretty, pretty. You like it plain? You like it with the ink on it, or the wax, luster wax. I like the little orangey smell that they gave it. Can you come back over with a different color wax? Sure. The wax is going to cover, it's not going to blend, it's going to cover. So now I've just hit it with a touch of gold. So now you've got the two-tone on there. What makes your heart happy? You can do this. Trim it out. So what if I took, how beautiful is that? What if I took here? See, it's, oh, but is that just on the thing? Well, I guess they couldn't make their mind up. They didn't put the sticker. Can you get the sticker off and put it on? Ha-ha. There, I just marked it. All right, where there's a will, there's a way. If I took this in black, what if I did it in white? I don't know, decisions. We haven't done one with the, let's do it in white. Because we haven't used, let's do it in white. Okay, so I want, well, it's white paper, so it doesn't make a difference. It's, regardless which side I put it on, it's gonna be fine. And let's bring it over. And yep, this is the sandwich I need for this one. And let's send it on through. And it just rolls through like butter. If you have any kind of arthritis, you are gonna have no hard time at all getting that through. Beautiful, right? And then I have the gold on here. If I just ever so. Ever so lightly put it on this one. Do the frame. That gold is beautiful. And then if I leave just a little bit of the white all the way around. And it's dry. Look at that gold. Beautiful, beautiful. And I could come back in and I could get it heavier in there. Or I could have done it lighter. And no, it's never going to be perfect or what you think perfect should be. But I guarantee you, you finish this card and it's going to be a stunner. Right? Goes on beautifully. But time to move on. Got things to do. Can we do it with chipboard? Let's bring out another Sizzix folder. Ooh. Let's see if this one will go through. Don't know. It's super thick. And how about we take a piece of, not white, how about we do this one? Let me cut it down to size. Again, this is as heavy a chipboard as we have ever had. Heavy, heavy, heavy. And put it in. Chipboard's the same on both sides, so it doesn't matter which side goes up and which side goes down. Bring it over. I already know there's no way it's going to do this. I'm even positive, well, pretty positive, that there's no way it's going to do this because that chipboard is so much thicker than what a typical embossing folder is. I'm not even 100% sure we'll get it through like this because it's just that thick. So, roll. Ooh. All right. I had to open my plate all the way to the base to get it to roll through. Chipboard, heavy chipboard. Oh, but look at that. And then what if we took our, I don't know, our rose gold. And I'm just taking very little up. I'm just pressing it down and pulling it up. Ooh, what do you think of that versus that? I could have been very, very gentle and just hit the tips. Just hit it, barely hit it. And made it a softer look. So now not as much metallic versus a lot of metallic. Could have even done the back side. And that wax is dry. Backside, front, heavy, light. The beautiful thing is, look at how thick that chipboard is. That is amazing. Amazing. let's grab, I don't know, let's grab that one. And let's just do a little. Just a little, just an edge. Or should I do, this one is just an edge. How pretty would that be as just an edge? Maybe you don't need the whole embossing folder. Now this one's different. Chipboard, normally we're putting the Nelly through right through the top one, but with this being extra thick, my guess is I'm going to have to open up to tab 1 because that chipboard is so much thicker than the paper I've been using. Let's try and see what happens. Oh, it feels a little loose. Oh, that feels really loose. So let's put it back up to tab 1. And let's see what we get. Yeah, see? Oh, no, there it goes. So the 3D with Nelly goes through same tab 1 with all of them closed. Oh, is that so pretty? Let's get the gold. Or let's do the silver. That's totally contradictory. And let's see. I love this folder. What if you prefer the gold? You have options, lots and lots and lots of options, and now you've made a beautiful edge, a beautiful border for something. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but we'll figure something out. We will figure something out, absolutely. And can you ink these? Absolutely. We inked the one already, but let's grab some, let's grab, about that, how about some purple? A beautiful purple. And do I have another one that I want to use? Oh, all right, we're going to use this one. So Sizzix is kind enough to put their name on it, so you know the color, the paper that you want to see on your finished project is what goes face up where the Sizzix logo is. And I know I have got a thick embossing folder here. So I'm going to open it. I'm not using chipboard, so I don't have to open it all the way. I can just read the directions on Sizzix 3D embossing folders and send it on through. Now this really is pure magic. Look at that. And then let's compare it to the okay, so I need my paper going this way. And I'm using just basic paper, so I know I'm going to fold it all the way up because this is that thinner translucent. And I'm going to send it on through. Every manufacturer manufactures differently. You can't assume because you have one type of embossing folder from one company that it's going to behave the same as another embossing folder from another company. That holds true for dies, it holds true for paper. Oh my gosh, holy smokes, artichokes. Okay, I don't want to touch this. I just want to mount it. I just want to do something pretty with it. Wow. Sizzix. Nelly. And then again, I could take and wax it. And because the wax is meant to go on non-porous paper, and this is a coated paper, it dries instantaneously. So my satin paper is ideal for embossing. Now it's got that silver and the purple, the lavender coming through. Or just plain. But what if you wanted to use this and you wanted to use an ink on the satin paper? Well, that's where the StazOn comes in. You've got to use a StazOn when you're using a non-porous paper. And my satin paper tends to be it's a non-porous paper because it's got a coating over the top of it. So if I want to ink this, I can't use those Spellbinders inks that I was using earlier with paper. I can't do this because this paper is porous and that ink absorbed right on in. I'm using a paper that's non-porous, and what we need for non-porous papers is a permanent-based ink. Not a pigment-based ink, a permanent-based ink. StazOn. Is it going to stain? Yes. Can I clean it? Yes. With the alcohol, or I'm going to use Marabou hand sanitizer to clean my embossing folder. Embossing folders are just plastic. If you don't clean it, is it going to hurt the embossing folder? No, it's not going to know. It's not going to, its feelings aren't going to get hurt at all. Okay. Now maybe I do two, because I've got two sides. Oh, I just put my finger in that. Stacy. So because this isn't double-sided paper and I've inked up both sides, oh, drop, drop. close. Okay, so I put 2 in so I can get both images to see. If I was using double-sided paper, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just picked the image I like the best. And again, this is a Sizzix. I need to open to tab 1. Really important just to play. You'll know whether it's going to go through or not. You'll feel it. Either the machine is saying, oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, there it goes. Or it's saying, and I'm not saying there's not tension in here, there absolutely is tension. But if you're pushing so hard and it's not moving, don't force it. Try a different tab. Try without a cut plate. Try with 2 cut plates. So now I've inked there. And I've inked there. Stays on. Stays on is so important in your crafty arsenal because we use it for so many things, because now so many things are non-porous. All that beautiful opulent paper from Sizzix, my paper, you can't use a regular ink to it. You can't. Could I use my stays on? I'm okay. We're just gonna suck it up and do it. Maybe I should just use the embossing folder to see what happens. What's the worst that can happen, right? What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? I don't know. Oh, I'm so stressed about it. What color paper do I want to use first? Let's pick a paper. Oh, I don't know that that's going to look pretty. But, you know, hey, you'll definitely see what happens because it's definitely contradictory paper. Opposites attract, right? Isn't that what Paula Abdul said? So I'm going to use, oh, I just can't. I'm going to, well, okay. I'm going to use maybe the claret. Claret? At least it's a red. We'll see. Okay, so. See, I can be as indecisive as you. Isn't that good to know you're not alone? My biggest struggle is paper. Picking paper is my biggest struggle. So I've got some ink on both sides. I guess we'll go ahead and do both sides since. So drop 1, drop 2. Of course I got ink on it, but what's new? Close it up. Oh, I moved it. Well, I moved it, but let's send it through and see what we get. Platform completely closed because this is the thinner translucent. Gosh, I could have done one side red and the other side blue, and then we'd know if we like it or not. All right. Oh, very, very faint. Oh, very, very pretty though. Okay, it is soft and it just clings in the little porises, the little caverns inside the embossing folder. You choose. What do you like? What works for you? You have options that are limitless with these embossing folders. These were all just 3D. They started out just as plain can be. Can you remember when they started out just like this? We just did it, and then we sanded them. Ooh, it's so pretty. And the pastes, 3D embossing folders have come a long way, baby. They really have. And what you can do with them once you understand how they work, and that all 3D embossing folders are not the same. They're manufactured slightly different, so you have to use a slightly different sandwich. But don't be afraid. Okay, so I'm cleaning it. Gosh, I almost want to put a piece of paper in there. No, we got to move on. But it's killing me not to stick a piece of paper in there and roll it through. So to clean it, I just threw some alcohol, some hand sanitizer, and it'll clean right up. Still may have a slight tinge of red or pink. That's okay. Not a problem. But they do clean. All right. Gosh, I wonder what this one... I'm just going to do this one last one in white. Just to see if I inked the entire thing. I'm going to ink the entire thing. And we're going to see what we get. And then we have to move on. Oh, you know what? I probably went too hard. Try again, Stacy. Let's try again. I think I rubbed too hard. I was supposed to be light and gentle on one side. I was supposed to be light and gentle on this side, the side that has the dimension to it. Yeah, light and gentle. Wipe that right off. And then not so light and gentle on this side. And let's see what we get. Piece of white paper. I am going to wipe just this little bit right there, right off. Piece of paper. In we go. Close it up. Send it through. "3D embossing folders." Okay, that side's meh. Oh, okay, but that side's gorgeous. That side's beautiful. That side's beautiful. I wonder if so light, 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 light. Heavy, 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 heavy. Heavy, 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 heavy. It's only paper. It's only paper. I can do this. It's only white paper. I've got lots of white paper. You have lots of white paper. How much fun is it to just sit there and experiment? Put it in. Send it through. And away we go. All right. Last one, and then I'm going to move to cut and emboss. Oh! Okay, I love this. Wow. I don't know, that's so beautiful. That looks so dainty and so delicate. And this is so wow. You pick, you choose which one works for you. You have options. Wow. All right, gotta move on. Spent too much time on those as I was supposed to. Let's go to cut and emboss folders. Again, cut and emboss folders, different manufacturers. Perhaps different ways to put it through. We have got Spellbinders. Now I'm going to tell you, we have 4 cut and emboss folders from Spellbinders, and we have got them at a rock star price. They normally retail, I think, for $12.50 each. And we've got an I want it all for all 4 of them for $19.99. I mean, they are a holy smokes artichokes price. And then I brought some in from Studio Light. And Studio Light, they're beautiful. They really are. They're 6 by 6, but you can cut them down to what you need them to be. Except for this one. This one's magnificent. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? So what is a cut and emboss folder? It's a folder that embosses and cuts an element at the exact same time. That means chipboard is a no-go with these. Absolutely not, because it's got this die built into it, and that die is not going to cut through the chipboard. The die doesn't even have any blades in it. It's just by pressure and those little ridges that are going to make everything cut. And everybody's machine is going to be a little different. So let's take and get some basic paper. And let's put it in, and let's see what sandwich you're going to go with. Now, the die should always be facing you. That's your front. The die should be facing you. Because it's got a die in it and it's thin, I'm going to think maybe we're going to go 1 plate on the top. Nope, that feels way too easy. Nope, it's got to have more pressure than that because of the die. So what if we open it? Could we try 2 plates? Let's try 2 plates on the top and see what we get. Might be too thick. When I get to the die, oh yeah, when I get to the die, ooh, it just doesn't want to go. It's too thick. Let's open it up a tab and see what happens. Because a traditional wafer die you would cut here, but we're cutting a wafer die and embossing at the same time. That's asking an awful lot of a $8 embossing folder. Let's see. Yay, nay. Nope, it's still a no-go. So let's take it all the way to the bottom and see what we get on the bottom. Oh, there we go. So it's a double cut plate and all the way on the bottom. Bring it on back. I really should put my lids on stuff. Woo. So, cut and emboss takes 2 cutting plates, and I had to open up my platform entirely. It was too thick for a cut and emboss when I kept it completely closed. And it was too thick when I was on tab 2. So I moved it all the way down to the base and put it through, and it rolled through with tension, but it rolled through fine. Let's see what we got. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. So it has now cut my paper and embossed. So what if we did it, and then you gotta go get your little, there's no little holes for these, so you gotta pop these bad boys out. I'm gonna try and do one more piece of paper before I pop them all out. Pop a couple. But there's no little holes for you to get them out, so you just take your little tweezers and go right in. Let's see if I can cut a second one. So pretty. And let's use patterned paper this time. And let's use that red. That red was very pretty. And let's put the red in. Remember, the die should be facing you. Perfect. And let's see, I have to bring over my multi-purpose platform. I know I have to open it all the way up. And I'm going to have to sandwich it with 2 cut plates. 1, 2. And I'm going to send it on through. There will be tension. It's not going to roll through like butter. It's going to feel more like you're cutting a regular die. Oh, I can hear it. That's good. And send it on back, just because I was going to have to pull it out anyway. And there we go. And let's see what we got. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Now, they've left this slightly attached. If you wanted to get this off, you just have to cut it out. You just have to snip. But they left it attached so that it would stay part of your embossing folder when you have pulled it out. Now, let's bring over our sanding tool. And let's hit the sanding elements of this. And that embossing, where you can't see it here because I haven't sanded yet, you certainly can see it here. This is so pretty. My gosh, add a sentiment and call yourself done. What a beautiful cover for a journal or for your album or for, my gosh, this would make a beautiful for a mini album, the cover of it. And there's our beautiful. So just embossed and sanded. And we could continue through and do the same. Let me show you the Spellbinder ones. Just because they are different. So Spellbinders is right here. These are a little thicker than these. A little sturdier, a little thicker. Are they going to go through the same? Maybe. Die element always facing out. Paper that you want to see always facing you. Let's bring our Big Shot machine back over. Different manufacturer, slightly different thickness. So let's close up our platform entirely and put our plates down. And let's see if it goes through. Ooh, my guess is no. Too thick. Let's open it up. Put it down. Send it through. Ooh, no. Let's try the bottom, see what we get. Send it through. And we've got a winner, winner chicken dinner. Again, there's tension there, but it goes through without being forced. You just can't assume that oh my gosh, is that beautiful, that everybody's embossing folders, or dies for that matter, are exactly the same. They are not. Most manufacturers spec them to their own die cutting machine, but gosh, many of you don't. You have a die cutting machine. Some of you might have 2 die cutting machines. There may be a few of you who have 3, and then there is a handful who are the full set syndrome people who have every die cutting machine out on the market. But the majority of us, you have 1 die cutting machine, but you want to be able to use everybody's dies and embossing folders with it. Okay, this is beautiful. Sanded. Sanded. It was just that fast and simple. Just that easy. Can you ink them? Yes. Yes, of course we can ink them. How about we try... Boy, girlfriend has gone through quite a bit of paper today. How about we try... No, I want a full half sheet. There we go, I want a full half sheet. But we try this one from Spellbinders. Now, it's only got a few little cuts. And you want to be able to see those. If I'm doing it, I want to be able to see. Those cuts should be against the paper that you want to see. So let's ink this thing up. Let's get some, let's go bold. Let's go some summer days. Let's be bold. Okay, my ink is gonna stain my little white little injection foam thingies. So Spellbinders adds a little bit of an injection foam to help the paper come out. Let's go with some citrus cooler. And let's throw some cranberry bliss in there. And let's get some paper. Close it up. And I'm just using the Spellbinders inks. And bring it over. Open it all the way up because I know that that's the tab that I need to use. Completely open. And let's send it through. Ah, are we gonna go? No, Spellbinders is not gonna go. It's a little too thick. That means I need to start again. With 1, let's see if it's gonna be 2. Yeah, that's too easy. So now I'm using just 1 of my cut plates, and let's try here. Oh no, that's too thin. That felt too easy here. Yeah, that's definitely too easy. but two seemed to be too much down below, all the way at the bottom. Two seemed to feel like it was like, ugh. Yeah, two is definitely too much. And one didn't feel like enough. Yeah, see, too easy. And that feels too easy. Oh, it embossed them beautifully. Oh, it did cut them. Here I am worried about nothing. Gosh, but I think I like them in. Look at that, I worried about absolutely nothing. Gosh, I think I like them. I liked them in too. So we have one side, or we have the other side. Okay, let's do that again, because I worried for nothing. Grab myself a piece of paper. I was all saying that feels too easy peasy. How about we try? No, let's just keep with this one. Let's go some Summer Days again. Let's go some Citrus Cooler again. And let's go some Cranberry Bliss. Ooh, that's really red. And to my surprise, it was my sandwich completely closed with one. And it cut through beautifully. Forward. There's just a little bit of tension there. I almost wonder if you put a shim on top, but no. Backwards. Open. So there's one side, and there's the other. Now, I think I like them with the little dots in there, but if I don't, out they come, and you've got your cut and emboss. So inking, easy peasy, no problem. Ooh, how about we wax one of them? Let's do this one. And let's do it in the black paper and let's wax it. I'm slightly not white enough, but you'll forgive me. And this one I think was all the way open with two plates. And if not, we'll just back it up until we get it right. You can't be afraid. We get people who will stop in the middle of embossing or die cutting because they hear a crack or a creak. Yep, that was the right platform. And they will stop what they're doing and call, and it's like, no, keep going. If it went through, you're good to go. Little creaks and cracks are okay. You just don't want to force, and that's with anybody's machine. All my little doodads are coming out. Gosh, and you could even leave some of them in if you wanted. Some of them look really cute left in. Like that center flower looks really cute left in. I don't have to pull those out if I don't want to. And then I have my option. How about the rose gold? Then you treat it just like an embossing folder. And you can do whatever you did with all the other embossing folders. But they're so very pretty once they are die cut out. And what if I just wanted to use, I could, I mean I can. All I have to do is snip. Then I can use this piece on its own, and I can use that piece on its own. Okay, absolutely no way to use chipboard with this, but I do want to use one more embossing folder. This one, it's a cut and emboss. Can you see that the cut is all the way down here? That's where your cut is. This embossing folder is a little special because it has this die element in a straight line down here. Let me get a piece of my satin paper. How about, that's a pretty blue. So when you send this one through, if you ever have a die where the entire cut is in one parallel type of, whether it be here or here, but it's just straight and it's not very wide. If it was half the width, it wouldn't be a problem, but because it's so narrow, if I try to put this through my machine, let's trim my paper down just a little bit more. Because the die is parallel to my roller blade, it's going to struggle to cut this. Let's just give it a whirl and see what we get. It's going to struggle. There we go. So through, and once I hit that spot, it's going to struggle. I'm not even sure that I'll get it all the way through because it's on a parallel. See, that scares me. I'm going to back it up. It's hard for the machine to take this die and hit here. It's hard for it to go get over that ridge there. So I'm going to back this up. Woo, see, I told you. Embossing's gorgeous, but the die cut was a little hard. Let's try it again. Let's grab another piece of paper. Let's try it again. Only this time I'm going to orientate the embossing folder a little differently. It all has to do with linear lines and how die cutting machines and the pressure that they they need to make the actual cut since there's no blade. Let's try it again, only this way, instead of putting my die in either this way or this way, I'm gonna rotate it so it feeds in this way. So now my die is perpendicular to my platform. And let's go. And now, do you see how much easier it is, or that I'm not having trouble rolling it all the way through? When I get to the very end, it's gonna go ka-thump. Yeah, a little ka-thump. Oh, just a little ka-thump. And there was definite pressure. But look at what you get. That's absolutely stunning. And yes, I could go over it with my wax. I could go over it with my StazOn. I'm not going to go over the whole thing with my wax. I'm just going to do this down here. Look at how pretty. If you want to do the dots, you can. Just very light. See, I schmoozed. Look at that, I really schmoozed. Well, now I've just changed it to from blue to silver. I got it too heavy. It needs to be very light if you're gonna go over these dots. But down here, it came out beautiful. So let's do that one more time, because it's important that you remember that with a die, any die, that's so narrow, easy cleanup, so narrow that to feed it to any machine to where it's parallel to whatever roller is in the machine is gonna cause problems. Oh, let's try this off. Oh, isn't that a pretty color? Well, considering I picked it, that's a good thing I like it. All right. So, die facing you, paper face up. I'm going to take that jagged edge that I cut and put that towards the bottom because that's just going to get cut off. Machine. This is a thinner cut and emboss, so I can send it through with 2 cut plates on my bottom platform, my base platform. I want it perpendicular. I want that die perpendicular to my roller. You're gonna feel some pressure. There's no question about it. You want to make sure your plates are nice and centered. Sometimes I struggle with that. And then you're going to send it through. And it's going to do great until it gets closer to the end. And that's when that pressure is going to just go, ugh, and get it through. Ready, and ka-thump. Not too bad. Do I want to send it back? Back's easy peasy. And then let's take it out. Oh, it's stunning. So where your Spellbinders dies don't have as much of a cutting element to it. I mean, they have a cutting element to it. They have some cutting elements. Your price is absolutely amazing. So you're going to get 4 of these, 4 cut and embossed for $19.99. Whereas your Studio Light folders have a lot more detail in their cutting elements. But they're also not 4 for $19.99. What do you think? All right, this has been a long class, but it's a do's and don'ts. You need to know the difference between just a basic embossing folder. I can't even find where I put them anymore. Just a basic embossing folder. But what can be done with just a basic embossing folder? The options that you have when you use them versus a 3D embossing folder and all the beautiful things you are able to achieve with 3D embossing folders. Oh, I know I have more samples than this. I'm positive of that. You need to know when you can use chipboard, what inks will work on your non-porous, well, what luster paste and what inks will work on non-porous, how the different depths change the look of the embossing folder, and the different techniques from just embossing it and sanding it to coloring to inking. So many different things to do with the embossing folders. You have options, but if you have only one machine, you need to know how to put it through. I've shown you with the Sizzix Big Shot machine because that is the machine that is most commonly owned by people. Is a Sizzix, even if they have a newer machine, they seem to have a Sizzix Big Shot machine back in the closet. And with the multi-purpose platform, not the one that comes with the machine, well, it'll come if you buy the bundle from us, but with this, it gives you the opportunity to do all the embossing folders. The platform that it comes with now, there's a little struggle with it. So, I mean, we did so much today, so much. And I've got, holy smokes, so much on sale. So let me run through what we have for you. Okay, first off, we've got the Sizzix effects. And I really did try to lock up as much of this as I possibly can. And they run $8.99 each, but if you buy all 3, you're gonna get them for $19.99. And if you just want one color, well, they're on sale too, but not for that discount. So Sizzix effects. It's that paste. It's not a paste, it's a wax. And it smells really good. We've got Aladdin, because this is the perfect size to fit. It was like they were made to go together. Perfect size. So we've got the Aladdin. If you've got Tim Holtz, it's probably the same size or very similar and it may fit, but Aladdin, we support small independent or small companies like us, and Aladdin, we stand by them. They stand by us. So we support the manufacturers who help us get where we're going. Aladdin makes a great product. We have got 4 new paper pads from Hobby Gross. So they've got 2 ink drop paper pads. We've never had these before, and they're different than the Craft Consortium. These are equally as beautiful. Then they've got kind of a rusty metal, and the one I was using today is scratched metal. It's gorgeous when you sand it. It is absolutely, well, you saw, it's gorgeous when you sand it. Then we have my satin, metallic satins. I've got 3 new packs. So cool hues, loving hues, and growing hues. There's 5 sheets, 2 colors of each, and value priced because it's a simply defined product, and that is all the metallic paper we've been using all day today is mine. Then we have Stays On. So we'll put Stays On back on because if you're gonna wanna ink and you're gonna wanna use it with the metallic satin cardstock, you're going to need to do it with the Stays On. That's going to make your life so much easier. You cannot do it with your regular dye-based inks. Will not work. So StazOn will go on sale. We still have the Fun Stampers Journey on sale. This is the last week for that, and then we have to call it off. So these are almost the same price as Memento Dewdrops. It's a great value, and there's a lot of wonderful colors and sets we've put together for you. What else? Gosh, I think that's it. Then we have the embossing folders. So I have got embossing folders starting at there $1.99. There's a whole selection of embossing folders at $1.99. I used a lot of these when we just started, just basic embossing folders. Then I have 3D embossing folders. And again, I have oodles of different styles. We used this one, we used the lilies. We didn't get to use that one, but it's beautiful. We used this one a lot. Love this one. Lots of 3D embossing folders from Nellie's Studio. And 2 different cross. Then we have the Sizzix 3D embossing folders. And remember, they are dramatically different. They look different, they feel different. Good if I could find, oh, there we go. They look different, they feel different, they're much thicker, and you're going to have to run them through whatever machine you're using. Doesn't matter which machine, you're going to have to use a different sandwich because the thickness varies so much. So we have 4 from Sizzix. The fans I used, oh my gosh, the Paisley is so pretty. Wait till you see the samples. And the folk, and then I used this one today as well. So 4 3D embossing folders from Sizzix. Then I have the 4 cut and emboss from Spellbinders for $19.99. That's like getting the regular embossing folders for $1.99. We used this one today. We did, and we used this one today. All 4 $19.99, or you can buy the one that you like. It's not as deep of a discount, but they're still on sale. Spellbinders, great. And then I have just an odd collection of Studio Light cut and emboss folders. I did this one. You saw that in the pink and in the blue. The tree, love the tree with all the leaves falling off. The rain with the umbrella, and the umbrella die cuts out and the raindrops fall all around it. These are all cut and emboss. Love the windows, and you will see these have little Christmas lights going around them. We got rid of the Christmas lights. We covered it up to make it a window so that you could use it all year round. And the door, Elena has her eye on this one. And then the one we used today, and then just a pretty floral. So, tons of product on sale, something in everybody's budget, that is for sure. Let's do samples. Okay. 3D embossing folder with the Sizzix wax on it. Also done with the Sizzix luster wax. Gosh, I don't even know where to put some of this stuff. This was done. The purple is my paper and the gold is the luster wax. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love this. It makes my heart happy. It really is stunning. And it's so hard to find embossing folders like that. Here we've got 3D embossing folder. Again, all of the metallic, all of satin paper that you're seeing is mine. Simply defined. And here we've got the Sizzix fan 3D embossing folder. And here we've got the pink with StazOn. So we inked the folder with the StazOn before we sent it through. And here's the back side of the Sizzix folder. And we've inked it with the wax. And that wax dries like that. And here we have a cut and emboss, the Studio Light with the detail down here. And koi fish in the fan. Look at how beautiful is this. Claire, I think, did this one, and she just picked fabulous colors. I think she did this one because she fussy cuts. God bless her pea picking heart. And here we've got the cut. Oh, I'm supposed to open it. Okay. Here we've got the cut and emboss that I was using earlier. And then I'm supposed to open it. Oh, this way. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, and there's the lily. Look at this. That's beautiful. It's the 3D embossing folder. You've got some opulent paper going on in there. Ooh, and look at this with that 3D embossing folder. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I love that. It's got the print in the back and everything. Well done. I don't know who made it. They don't have names on the back of them. Oh, and here is the 3D floral that I love so much. And another one that has been inked with stays on. That's the Sizzix Paisley. And this is one of the Spellbinders cut and emboss, and she inked it. See, look at this, is beautiful. That's beautiful, and we have so few of some of these. Okay, and remember I said that there were Christmas lights around it? We just got rid of it. Right? We just covered the Christmas lights. So you can use it for Christmas or not. This is one of the Studio Light cut and emboss. One of the Sizzix 3D, and you've got some of the luster wax on it. Oh, and this is one of the Sizzix 3D, the folk. I don't remember what it's called, something folk. It's beautiful. And look at the luster wax on that. And satin paper in the back, and so pretty. Oh, and this must have been done by Doris, because it's got the pink flamingo on it. Isn't that cute? With the Sizzix fan. The fan, I think the fan is my favorite from Sizzix. I love the fan one, I do. And here but then you get the folk one on pattern paper with just a little bit of luster wax going on, just to add some detail and some dimension. Feels like wallpaper. It's amazing. And Doris did this this is the Spellbinders. It's not necessarily Christmas, but she made it Christmas. This is the one I did with the bows, but she made it Christmas. Okay, then we have this was just the plain square embossing folder that we started with. These are just plain embossing folders that we started with. This is just a plain embossing folder. Not 3D, not cut and emboss. This is a $1.99 embossing folder. This is a $1.99 embossing folder with that paper from Hobby Gross, the scratched paper that I used. That's what they call it, scratched. This is a $1.99 embossing folder used with my satin paper. Here we have 3D, Nelly 3D with the floral. And we have the tree with all the leaves coming out. And we've added a little luster to it, a little luster wax. And here's the Spellbinders, and I bet this is Claire. She went very Southwestern. How do I know it's Claire? Because there's fussy cutting. Very Southwest. And here you've got the Sizzix fan. And oh my. That is on my paper, and that's a 3D. And then let's sail away. Again, my paper, silver wax, Sizzix fan, and we're almost done. Okay. She just smushed that ink right on this and sent it through. This is the $1.99 embossing folder. She just smushed on 2 different color inks because she had this center that she wanted to use. Looks amazing. Amazing. It looks like a piece of art. And then here, they used the purple, my purple satin paper, and ran the silver over it on that Nelly floral embossing, 3D embossing folder. And here, Claire used StazOn to send it through. And then she came back and she used Sharpie markers, red Sharpie markers, to highlight these 3 and make them a little darker red. But she used StazOn, the StazOn ink, to send it through. And here they just inked and sent it through with that $1.99 embossing folder and then added the bling. Look at that, isn't that cute with all the bling? I heard Doris say, I think when in doubt, bling more, or you can never have too much bling. Oh, and then look at this. Is this stunning? Right? Done with that Studio Light cut and emboss. And then Spellbinders. This is gorgeous too. This is a Spellbinders cut and emboss. Look at the detail in there. And last but not least, a Paisley in pink, but we inked it with red. We put red StazOn inside the Paisley embossing folder and then sent it through. And look what we got. All right, you guys. It's been long, I know, but it's a do's and a don'ts. And let me tilt on back. And it's important to know what you can and what you can't do, and what the difference is between embossing folders that both say 3D but are different. They both give you 3D dimension, but the manufacturing process for them was different. So you have to treat them differently. Or your cut and emboss, you have to sometimes treat them differently. And maybe you just started and you're just gonna get some of those $1.99 embossing folders and have at it. This is the time to do it. Also, the machine. The machine is on sale, and you're going to get the multi-purpose platform so that you can do everything I did today. Machine sells for $119.99. The multi-purpose platform is either $25 or $30. We're going to do the whole bundle for $109.99 plus shipping, and it comes directly from Sizzix, not from us. That's why we can't ship bulky items. We're just not that good. We're really not that good. So I hope that you learned something today. I hope you were inspired to grab some white paper and just try. It's okay to say, nope, I didn't like that one, try again. It's okay. You should finish it and then throw it away because often when you finish it, you love it. But if you're just playing and just experimenting, give yourself the opportunity to do that. I know you can do this. There's nothing here that I did that was difficult or hard or challenging. The most challenging thing is learning which sandwich is the right sandwich to go through your machine for the different embossing folders. Okay, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. You'll find all of this product in our YouTube Yummies category. And if you don't shop with us, shop local and shop independent. Bye, everybody.